I want to say welcome everybody to another episode of Memories of Us. Today we got Nelson, and what you guys don't understand, Nelson has a very, very interesting story. And again, it's one of those walk by faith, right, type journeys. And without further ado, Nelson, how you doing today, man?
Hey, Tony, how are you? It's me, Nelson from Toronto, Canada. And I just want to say to you and your viewers, today is a great day to be above ground, I tell you.
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. And, Thanksgiving was just yesterday, and hopefully you had good time with friends and family and got to enjoy that and feeling the sun on your face. That's a very, very appreciative moment, right? When you're grateful for those things like that. And, with that being said, man, Nelson, I want to say thank you. It's an honor to have you on the show. I think this is going to be an amazing, amazing story that you have. So tell the audience about who Nelson is. How did you become who you are today?
Wow, Tony, let me, I'll bring us back in time if I may.
Yes.
But before I say anything else, I need to let the world know, and you and your viewers, that me, Nelson Betijar, is nothing but an imperfect soldier for Jesus Christ. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Right.
But since you're going to let me stay a little bit longer and share a little bit about myself, I want to bring you back to when I was a kid. My mom and dad were from the Philippines, and they took a chance on themselves, and they left their established lives to come to Toronto, Canada, to chase the dream for a better life for themselves and their unborn children, my sister and myself. And because of them, I get to live out my goals and dreams just like them. There's a picture of my dad over my shoulder. He passed away last December 16th, 2020. But if it wasn't for him to be brave enough to take a chance on himself, I wouldn't get a chance to be here, hang out with you and your viewers. But I'm one of those guys that knows what it's like to climb that mountain of ambition and success. Get to the top, enjoy the view for a while, only to come crashing down, spiraling down, losing everything that I'd ever worked for in a blink of an eye. Talk about humbling, so humbling. You see, I was lucky enough to build a thriving physical therapy private practice that specialized in injury assessment, treatment, and rehabilitation. And I'll never forget this. It was May 2016. We were on the second floor of my studio loft with my staff. We were celebrating, clanging those champagne glasses, which were secretly filled with Diet Coke because we were at work.
I love it.
Secretly filled with Diet Coke because we were at work. The patients couldn't know that. We were celebrating because we had reached a monumental goal. We were living the dream. It was amazing. And we were on cloud 9. And then 168 hours from that specific joyous moment in time, I was shockingly diagnosed with cancer. And then I was forced to live in the hospital immediately for supervision, treatments, and evaluation. And to add salt to the wound, Tony, I even lost my ability to walk. And I became a prisoner of a wheelchair for the next almost 3.5 years. For 1,651 consecutive days out of my adult life. And the reason why I share this with you and your viewers is to show you that there's this word in the English language called adversity. Adversity, which is defined by a situation or a condition that is filled with distress, calamity, or misfortune. And adversity will attack anyone, regardless of their age, gender, status, or religion. And when it comes, there are only 2 outcomes. According to my grade 3 teacher, there are only 2 outcomes when adversity shows up. Either you find a way to conquer it or you crumble beneath it. And as we start to talk, you'll start to see that you and I are kindred spirits because we've had to dance with adversity many times with our time on this earth. But you and I are graduates of that university of trials and tribulation. And we get to share our story, to share hope with men and women that it's okay to not be okay. And we don't have to go through our struggles alone. And I applaud you for doing what you're doing and making me be a part of this mission.
And it's an honor. It's an honor to have you come on and share your journey with us, right? Because you're right, man. It's our stories are important and valuable to other people, and I always feel that we do our communities a disservice when we don't share these stories, right? Because we're built for connection, we're built for community. And sometimes that community changes. Our communities have changed along the lines, along the way. And we talk about adversity. So let's touch on that just a little bit, because it's when you say you was diagnosed with cancer, you're at the pinnacle of your career, right? You know what I'm saying? You guys are celebrating and things like that. You guys you're moving up the ladder, right? You know what I'm saying? You're seeing it. Now you get diagnosed with cancer. What brought that on? What brought that on? Were you having problems, things like that, or it was just one of those things you just went and got checked and they found it?
See, Tony, I'm one of those guys. I played sports my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up, you keep moving forward.
Right.
And with that same mentality, I take that to everything that I do. I'm 100% all in. And at work, I would constantly see patients back to back to back to back to back to back. And at the end of the day, be done. That was the way I worked.
Right.
And all of a sudden I noticed that I'm getting tired. And then I started purposely putting half-hour gaps in between my patients. And I never do that. So I figured I'm just getting a little bit burnt out. Mm-hmm. It happens. And then all of a sudden I realized within those 30-minute gaps, instead of doing administrative work, secretly I would take a nap on the treatment table in my office. And I never do that. Yeah. And this started happening for about a month. And like any man on this planet, the last thing we want to do is go to the dentist or the doctor. So I decided, let me just go see the doctor for an annual checkup. And they saw these things were totally uncharacteristic of me. Thank God for my family doctor. And she just said, you know what, I'm just going to run a whole bunch of tests. What the heck? You're here. Let's issue them. Let's just check. And I said, sure. And then as fate would have it, I'll never forget it. It was a Friday morning at around 11 a.m. I was driving down a certain street coming off the highway and my cell phone rang and it was my doctor calling and she never calls me. So I picked it up and I said, hello. And she goes, Nelson, are you driving? I said, yes, I am. She goes, can you pull over? I said, sure. So I pulled over. I go, what's going on? She goes, can you come in and see me today? And I said, Doc, I can't. I have a full load of patients today. She goes, I want you to cancel your patients and come in and see me today as soon as possible. And when I heard that, the lump in my throat just fell right down into my belly button. And then you wonder why. So I cancel my day. I turn the car around. I go right to her office immediately. She tells me to come in. She tells me to sit down. She never tells me to sit down. We always have jovial exchange. But I could just tell at that moment in time, something was a little different. The first thing she said was, Nelson, sit down. I'm going to be straight with you. I've taken the liberty of booking you with an oncologist and having biopsy scans. And I went, what? Me? She goes, it's possible that you may need this doctor and these tests. But she goes, I want to be wrong, but let's go test. So we go forward. I'll never forget this. I left her office. I was sitting in the parking lot wondering, how could this happen to me? I'm healthy. I eat right. I exercise right. I live my life right. How could this happen to me? And then I realized, you know what? Just wait. Let's wait. And then I did see the oncologist. Everything got confirmed. And I was sick. And I said, okay, I can beat this. But then all of a sudden, my body just shut down on June 26, 2016. I couldn't even hold myself up. I couldn't get out of bed. Everybody told me all I could do was open my left eye. That was it. That's all I could do. And then I got transferred to the hospital. See, the funny thing is that crazy story of a chapter I shared with you guys about me being diagnosed, being sent to the hospital immediately, losing my ability to walk. That's the easy part of my cancer journey, Tony. That's the easy part. When I got admitted into the hospitals for 2016 and 2017, my very, very first cancer doctor, Tony, his name is Dr. K. Dr. K gave up on me and told my family that I was terminal and that there was nothing he or the hospital could do for me. And that he was going to send me to the palliative care unit so I could be comfortable and pain-free in my remaining days. And when I heard this, Tony, I'm not going to lie, I was angry for about 5 minutes. I was sad for about 5 minutes. Excuse me. But then the warrior inside of me woke up and said, if I'm going to die, I'm going to chase down one more undying goal before I leave this planet. I just didn't know what that was yet. And then one night I was lying in that hospital bed, staring at the clock with a tear going down my right side of my face. And then the light went off in my brain. And the idea came that I'm going to write a blog. I'm going to write a blog. But not for personal vanity reasons. Not at all. Not at all. You see, at that moment in time, I had a 6-year-old nephew, 2 nieces, 5 and 3 years old, 2 brand new born twins, which were just born. And I love these younger family members with all my heart. I love them dearly. And it broke my heart to know that there was a chance that I wasn't going to get a chance to see them grow up. But I still wanted to be a part of their lives. So I wrote this blog called thepositivedrip.com. And it encased the nuggets and conversations that I know I would have with these youngins during their different stages of life as I got a chance to sit with them. And I secretly wrote this blog just for them, so I could leave it behind for them, so I could still be a part of their lives after I had passed away. And that was the purpose of the blog. But it looks like the joke's on me, because if we fast forward to 2018, on September 2018, I had left Dr. K and I went to a different hospital. I employed a brand new team of medical doctors. And these medical doctors did everything they could to keep me alive. And guess what? They stamped me cancer-free on September 28, 2018, and told me to go live my life. Yeah. And 2, that blog that you and I are talking about, thepositivedrip.com, which I left behind for my younger family members, has accidentally trickled across the planet and developed a global readership, which was never the plan. Never. And 3, there's a community, an online community walking alongside that blog. And it's humbling. It's humbling to see that people actually want to hear what you have to say. But I'm a firm believer that it is the tests that we go through in life that we can find a way to come out victorious, which qualifies us to share our story of victory. And I honestly think that blog that I wrote has become so embraceable to the public because I invited people into my dark moments of time where I felt inadequate, invisible, lost, scared, alone, unsure, insignificant. Words I never knew before. I never knew these words, Tony. And these words almost buried me. But it's these words that allowed me to see the world from a different set of eyes now. And it made me realize if me, Nelson Betijar, could feel like that, there must be others out there as well. And like you, I took it upon myself to share the message that it's okay to not be okay. And you don't have to go through your trials and tribulations alone. And hopefully my story and your story is amazing. Hopefully my story can help someone climb out of whatever hole they're currently stuck in. You know, there's a quote that I heard that we cannot teach or speak about what we have never felt.
Yes.
I have never felt what it's like to go in depression, lose a spouse, be an alcoholic, lose other things. I can only speak of a man or a human being that chased a dream, lost the dream, got sick, almost died. People gave up on me. But then I said, wait a minute. There's still a chance to win. Is it easy to overcome adversity? Absolutely not, but it's still possible. But the secret ingredient that I have to share with you, since you've allowed me to use this word on your show, I tapped into God and my faith. And it's true what they say. Faith untested can't be trusted. And I had to hang on to him and strengthen my relationship with him. And as we talk, you'll see how he led me a certain way when I wanted to go that way. He let me go that way. But significantly, he said, before you go that way, Nelson, you better put this helmet on because you're going to be smashing your head up against the wall and coming back. And he was right.
Yeah.
And this cancer battle is where I had to smash my head up against the wall to finally come back to him. And he put me on the right path. And I'm okay where I'm at right now. Do I like what I went through? Absolutely not. But maybe that's what I had to do to get to where I am today.
Right.
And it got me to hang out with you.
I know, right? It's amazing. It's I love how God works, right? You know, how he provides everything that we need if we tap, like you said, tap into him, lean into him. Because just like yourself, you know, my relationship with God for a little bit there was very, very rocky. Didn't want to have nothing to do with him. I'm like, no, I'm done with you. I'm not going to even do this. And I used to have a really good relationship with him before everything, right? It was like, come on, man, I know we're not going to do this. Like, no, I'm going to be that kid that throws the temper tantrum. That was me. That was, I was like, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And, but most of all, it was how he approached me, right? It was what he did along the way of getting there, of overcoming that adversity and learning my new normal. And I thought there was going to be many different areas to this new normal. And it wasn't, right? I overcomplicated, I overthought it. And he went, no, this is your new normal. You just have a lot of different categories that you could talk about in your new normal, right? And I went, just like you probably had to look back on your path, went, well, I was doing pretty good right around here, right? And it's like, yeah, but you could have been doing better. Okay, I went, well, why didn't you help me do better? He goes, because I had you on the journey. I had to take you through a process. And I went, well, I'm not sure if I like this word process. I'm not sure if I like this word journey. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if I like this word life anymore, you know, because this life that you have me on, I'm not sure if I'm equipped for this. He goes, no, you're more than equipped. No, I don't think I am. I said, but I need you to do me a favor. He goes, what? I need you to get me out of here. I just need you to speed the process up because I don't want to. I'm tired, right? I'm tired. I'm tired of feeling like I'm beat down. And just like yourself, when you get that news that you have cancer, what is going on with you at that moment, mentally, spiritually? You know, where were you at? Let's talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
The best way I can explain it is my knees just buckled. And it's like a sword had come and swept right through and cut me at the knees. And I literally felt that I was going to collapse. I remember that vividly. And I remembered, how am I going to tell the people that love me that I'm sick? You know, we all have our positions in our family and in society and what we do. I'm not allowed to get sick. I cannot get sick. The shepherd can't get sick. But then I got sick to the point where they said I'm going to die. And then, Tony, I just want to bring you back into the hospital one night. And I have a question to you and your viewers. Has any of you ever said out louder underneath your breath, God, where are you? God, where are you? You see what I'm going through. I believe in you. Where are you? I'm in my darkest moments. Where are you? And it was a Friday night. It was around 7:11 p.m. And it was a shift change at the hospital. The nurse shift was changing. The morning shift changes around 7 o'clock at night. My day nurse was fantastic, jovial, amazing, loving, caring. She was great. The nighttime nurse came, and I could tell, oh my gosh, she did not want to be at work. Talk about crusty. Talk about just unreachable. Talk about being cold and distant. I knew she didn't want to be at work. And I tried to be jovial and said, hi, how are you? She goes, I'm great. Can I have your arm, please? I got to take your vitals. So I said, okay, no problem. I guess we're here for the next few hours tonight. I can't wait to share time with you. I just need your arm and take your vitals. Really cold. So Tony, you want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
As she's taking my blood pressure, it's just me and her in the hospital room. In this right ear, this is what I hear. Ask her to pray for you. I looked around. I know what I heard. Ask her to pray for you. No chance. So she leaves. 11 o'clock comes at night, and I have to take my medication. And the medication is so big, I can't swallow them. I'll choke. So all the other nurses know to bring me pudding or ice cream to help me swallow it. That same nurse comes at 11 o'clock, gives me my medicine. And I ask her, can I have pudding or ice cream to help me swallow it? You've seen my chart. She goes, I can't promise you anything. I'm very busy. I said, but if I'll choke. I can't eat this. She goes, I can't promise you anything. You know, we'll make do. If not, you're going to have to wait. So then again, guess what I hear in my right ear? Ask her to pray for you. Again, she walks out the door and I'm looking in my room. No chance. Am I going crazy? So now 3 a.m. rolls around. And remember, I can't walk. I can't come out of my bed. I can't go to the washroom on my own. So I have to page the nurse or a nurse to come with the urinal to come to the side of my bed so I can take care of business. So I'm going, God, please send any other nurse but her. I hit it. Guess who comes? Her. Like, how lucky can one guy be in one night? She comes in. She goes, what do you want now? I said, I have to go to the washroom. She goes, what does that have to do with me? I said, you've read my chart. I can't walk. I can't get up. We have to do it through the urinal. So she grabs the urinal. She comes to the bed. I do what I have to do. And in my most humbling position, in this ear, guess what I hear again, Tony? Ask her to pray for you. So I said, look, we don't know each other. We just met at 7 o'clock. I like you. You might not like me. But can you do me a favor? She says, what is it now? Can you pray for me? You've seen my chart. I'm terminal. They all say I'm going to die. So then without a blink of an eye, that cold external face that she had since 7 o'clock, it just changed. And it just started to glow. And she goes, okay, one moment. Get back in the bed, Nelson. And then she put her right hand over my forehead, her left hand over my feet. And she prayed over me. She goes, Jesus, please do not take this young man just yet. He's got more to do in Jesus' name. And she prayed hard over me. This woman, she just prayed hard over me. And then she left. She goes, I'll be back to check on you at around 7:00. And then I lied there wondering what just happened. And then around 6:15 a.m. in the morning, I woke up. And then I realized to myself, oh, God, God, she's the messenger.
Yes.
You let me know that you are with me through her.
Yeah.
And you had to test my faith. Faith untested can't be trusted. So he tested me 3 times to see if I would actually listen to the ask her to pray for you command. And when I did, he showed me he was with me. So anybody that's listening to this, in your darkest hour, when you feel you are most broken and ready to just throw in the towel and give up, hang on. And I want you to know God is there. And he will reveal himself to you in a way that only you will be able to know. But I just want anyone that's listening, I want you to know that he's there, especially in the silence. And I just had to share that with you and your viewers because faith untested can't be trusted. And because of what happened, my roots have grown even deeper. I'm not going to say I'm unshakable, but I'm moving towards that direction.
I love that you said that, when we talk about God meeting us in our darkest moments, I think we both had that aha moment, right? Where we were going through it, and come to find out, the messenger is right here. Mine was similar, was a little bit similar to yours, just a little bit different, but it was, I didn't have a messenger. That voice got louder. And that was all I could hear. When he hey, I need you to do this. Do you not see where I'm at right now? He goes, no, I need you. I need you to, no, we're not doing that. Remember, we just now went through all of this stuff. I'm not about to do that. As a matter of fact, I don't think we need to be talking at the moment. That's what I told him. We don't need to be talking at the moment. And it sounds crazy when we talk about this, but I think it's a beautiful thing. And I want people to grasp that if you have a relationship with God, if you have that relationship with him, lean into it when you're going through it, lean into him, right? Lean into him because he has something for you, because he's leaning back as you're leaning. And he's going to meet you right there. In those darkest moments, man, we're honest with ourselves. We're honest with what we're going through. We're honest with everything that's going on around us, how it's going to affect us and everything. But in the same sense, you have what I like to call stinking thinking. Because now, and you're pretty sure you probably heard that saying too. That stinking thinking is what got me there, right? It's what got me in that moment, in that crossroads with him. And that's when I could truly say, that's when he showed me. He definitely showed me, hey, I'm still here. And I went, well, just like most people, why am I here? I don't want to be here. And I remember just distinctively asking him. And no, actually, I was demanding of him, take me away from this. I'm done. No matter what he said to me, I'm done. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm done. I didn't ask for this. And I went, did you see my life? He goes, yeah, it was beautiful. I go, whoa, from whose perspective? This is not beautiful. But looking back on it now, I get warm, right? I mean, I get excited now when I look back on my life. And because just like you figured it out, and just like God says, had you not gone through it, you would not be able to speak upon it. And I went, well, let's see what all the things I can speak upon. Let's see where this thing goes. And, I didn't even know anything about blogs. I didn't know anything about that. It was pretty much, I'm going to keep a mental record because I want to understand now. And that was after breaking all of the, conversations that he and I had previous. It was going against everything he had been teaching me previous, only to have it come back and manifest itself, tap into that gift. And that gift says, now I am going into the world. I want you to join me. And I told God, I said, well, what is this thing? He goes, it's your purpose. I go, I don't know if that's my purpose. I had an idea in my head, God, that I was supposed to go over here. He goes, no. You're still going to go there. It's just, I'm going to take you a different way. And I went, no, I don't like that way. I don't like it. It hurts. He goes, yeah, I know, right? And he's over here, I know it hurts. What you rubbing your hands for, God? They're like, that's what I'm asking. Why are you rubbing your hands? I'm not liking this. He goes, no, you don't understand. I'm about to do something. You rubbing your hands. And he goes, now watch what I do. Right? It's that aha moment. Watch what I do. I'm going to take everything that you've gone through and I'm going to make it make sense to you. And I went, well, considering what you did to me before, I'm not quite sure if I like that. Right? My faith is wrecked at the moment. And I say this because I want people to understand that it does happen and it's totally normal, but it may not be what you perceive it as, right? Because you've been in your darkest moments and he sent a messenger. He's telling you, hey, ask her to pray for you. My messengers came from a really good friend of mine. And I just remember in that moment after I lost my son, what I was going through. I'm in this dark place. So I'm starting to go into the dark place. And I just remember I just wanted to run. I just wanted to run. I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I had my whole life planned around being a father, being a better son for my mother, being a better brother for my little sister, because everyone else is gone. So I'm trying to hold on to this. And he just did something that I have no words for. That song by Rascal Flatts, God Bless the Broken Road that led me straight to you. That's what it was. He showed me the blessings in my broken road by showing me who I was becoming, right? And what he had in store for me. And I could tell you right now, it was nothing like what I ever imagined, right? It was like, no, you don't understand. I'm an introvert. So I'm a strong introvert, always have been, but I was protecting myself from this life, right? And everything that had gone through it. And just like yourself, you walked through the journey of cancer and you lost your legs. I never lost my legs. I lost my breath, right? I didn't know how to breathe anymore, but you lost your legs. Being confined to a bed and having your faith tested like that, having a messenger come, how did that unfold as you was going? We talked a little bit about it, but how did that unfold for you? How did you get your movement back?
I'm a miracle, Tony.
You are.
And I want the world to believe in miracles. I want the world to believe that the word impossible, mm-hmm. if you break it down and see it as I'm possible. And everybody told me, now it's just be happy that you get to stay. Right. No, I play sports. I'm athletic. I run. That's how it's not going to be possible. Just be, I said, no. Don't use that word around me. Impossible to me means I'm possible. And it's ironic that I'm a physical therapist. Isn't it, Tony? It's ironic.
Yes.
And then my entire 2018, those 365 days of 2018 was spent going to a rehabilitation center where I had to have my own therapists. And I never told them that I was a physical therapist. I didn't want them to know. And every day, we would try and walk. And Tony, man, I fell down a lot. Holding on to those bars. But I always told them one more time. And then we do it again and I'd fall. Take a couple steps, fall on the bars, just fall. And all my therapists said, just relax, it's okay. And I told them, I said, no, it's not okay. I have to do this for every single patient that trusted me with their health care. I have to do this for every single family member that believed in me that it's possible to overcome adversity. And I have to do this to show the world that you can overcome adversity. And when I shared that with my therapist, we took like a 30-second pause. I'll never forget this. He had my file in his armpit and he was like this and he just said, okay, I understand. Let's take a 5-minute break and we'll start up again. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're good, brother. You're good.
And then eventually I was able to graduate from that wheelchair into a walker and onto 2 canes. And then eventually 1 cane. And then on January 3rd, 2021, I took that 1 cane and I put it in the closet forever. Because as of January 3rd, I'm now walking on my own upright. And my friends have said to me, well, what's next for you? I said, well, my next goal is I'm going to run by December 31st, 2021. And I thought that was a great goal. I was working towards it. And then you and I have a common friend. Her name is Andrea Mason.
Yes.
From AndreaMasons.com. She's an accountability coach. Another messenger sent my way. One day we were talking and she says, that's great that you want to run by December 31st, 2021. And then she dropped an idea in my head. Why don't you aim for June 1st, 2021? We were joking around. I said, June 1st? That's 6 months ahead of schedule. And then then the phone hung up, click. And then the pebble had dropped. And I said, well, why not? Let's aim for June 1st. And if you go to my YouTube channel, The Positive Drip, you will see a 2-minute video of my progressions from the wheelchair to everything that I had to go through. And at the end, you will see me running down the street because it's possible. We did it. And again, I have to tell you in the world that, I'm nobody special. I just happen to have people show up in my life to help me get to that next place. And this blog, if I can just share with you, thepositivedrip.com, that's got all this attention, I can't even take credit for. Tony, I was sitting, writing up my very first blog entry, terrified. I did not want to put it up into cyberspace. I was sitting at my laptop. Remember how I said that I had a 6-year-old nephew at that time? Mm-hmm. His name is Austin, and I call him Awesome Austin. A 6-year-old nephew walks up to me and goes, Uncle Nelson, what's wrong? And I look at him, I go, I'm having trouble uploading my blog. And then he looked at me through the eyes of a 6-year-old child and he says, it's easy. All you have to do is press the send button. So Austin took his 6-year-old finger, leaned across my laptop, and he pressed the send button. And within a blink of an eye, the Positive Drip entered cyberspace. I was like, no, Austin, no. But then again, I wasn't brave enough to do it. Through the eyes of a child, childlike faith, he pressed the send button and the Positive Drip went to cyberspace. So I've been lucky to have that nurse who was my messenger, Andrea Mason from AndreaMasons.com, to drop the idea of running 6 months in advance, and my 6-year-old nephew to press the send button for me to put this blog up into cyberspace. So the running joke is my friends always tease me and they say, look, yeah, you're on camera all the time. But the truth is, Nels, you have the perfect face for radio. and my friends, these friends, they tease you.
Yeah, yes.
You have the perfect face for radio, Nels. And then, I know it's kind of cheeky, but it's funny how life unfolds. Here I am today, and I'll be the first one to tell anybody that I did not get to where I am all by myself. And I am a product of every single friendship, relationship, good or bad. And I did not get here all by myself. And because of you now, I get to share my story with the world as well.
I'm the honored one, man. I really am, because like you said, Andrea is amazing, right? And I remember when I had her on the show, we still talk now. And she's constantly just giving little nuggets and stuff like that, and amazing person, amazing human being, amazing woman with this amazing journey of how she became who she is. And so you look at those connections, right? You connected with her first, and then through all of that, here we are. And again, we talk about it. God is funny that way, man. He doesn't just do things, to where it's more obvious. Because I would tell you, when I started Memories of Us, the podcast, I had no idea. I really didn't. I had no idea that it would be doing what it's doing right now. And because of the simple fact of, when we first started off after the nonprofit, I said, I want to start a podcast based around these conversations that men have. I want to interview real people with real stories. We're going to make it uncut, raw, unfiltered, and we're going to put it out there for the world to see. And we did that. And it took maybe about 6 months, right? 6 months. And then I remember before the end of that 6 months, I started, more women started coming to me and saying, hey, I really love the interview that you did with such and such. Do you have anybody that could speak upon this? I'm like, no, but let me find out for you. And I didn't want to tell them at that moment. I was so discouraged because I'm an introvert and this is not something that I do. And I'm going, no, I like to hang out in the shadows. That's why I like to sit back and observe things, right? That's what I do. I want to observe things. And then the podcast, I went, okay, why am I doing a podcast? Are you crazy? Is it possible? And just like the nonprofit, people's going, hey, this is going to be really hard, Tony. This is almost impossible. Men don't do this. I look back on them and I'm appreciative of everything that everyone said, because I can look at them. They look at me now and they go, so how are you doing, Tony? I go, you know what? I am truly blessed. I am honored. They go, well, what do you mean? How's everything going? I said, well, you remember when we talked the last time, you told me that you didn't think it was possible because men didn't talk and men didn't do all of these things. Go, yeah, yeah, God kind of did something different. I'm glad I didn't listen to you. And they go, well, I didn't mean it in a negative way. I said, no, you didn't, but you gave me something that I never thought I would get. You gave me more inspiration. You gave me more drive to do it. And as I said before, God has blessed that broken road that led me straight to where I am right now, to becoming, oh, you froze up. There you are.
Yep.
So where
back
did
in
I
action.
off at?
You were on a broken road that led you to exactly where you are.
Yes. And I couldn't have said it more perfect than what you just said it right there. And that's absolutely correct. I was on a broken road that led me to where I am, to becoming Tony.
Yes. Did we break up again?
Oh.
Yes. And we talked about this off camera earlier, the metaphor, the analogy of the elastic band.
Yes.
And the more that elastic band pulls you and gives you resistance, It is preparing you to propel you
Right.
to where you're supposed to go.
Right.
And is it easy that you had to go through what you had to go through? Absolutely not.
No.
Is it easy for what people out there have to go through? Absolutely not. But just remember, the elastic is pulling you back and preparing you to catapult to where it is you're supposed to end up.
Yeah.
Just be brave enough to embrace it and dance with adversity and not let it conquer you. And the truth is, the world has been waiting for people like you and I and the people on your show who are foolish enough to believe in the impossible. Right. So we can push back collectively, so we can all push back against adversity, wrestle with it, and eventually defeat it. And it's through a show like this, like you said, you have a network of at least 200 plus men that have come together to speak deeply about what's bothering their soul. Baseball is a man's pastime because it's perfect. 9 guys get to hang out on a big field, each have your own personal space. Don't really even have to talk. Yeah. You can just look at each other and nod. But to take that example and say, no, that's not an example of how men should be. We can bring them together and speak their truths, share their souls. Because I've traveled, and I'm sure you have, and we've all met men and women, and there's a lot of commonalities between us.
Yes.
We all want to be loved. We all want to love somebody like crazy and be loved back in the exact same way. We all want to have purpose. We all want to know that I am not just passing through here just to pass through here.
Right.
You know, we want to not be selfish. We'd like to be selfless. Reach out and help people. Hey, I'm en route to a journey of success. Come with me.
Right.
You know, we want to be thoughtful instead of thoughtless. You know, we want to be kind instead of mean. We don't have to, you know, and we want to. All men have the ability to be a tender warrior.
Yes.
A tender warrior. Women, men, all of us. We are all common human beings. And the truth is, the world wants to put black against white, yellow against whatever, you know. But the truth is, we are all the same. We all bleed the same color red. And we're all just trying to get through this thing called life. And I believe this, and a lot of people might not agree with me. I honestly believe that we are all spiritual beings having an earthly experience.
Yeah.
And then we get to go home.
I'm right there with you. I honestly believe that, you know, and it took me a long time to understand it because, you know, when you're living in the world and you see in the world from your own eyes, you believe the world can be, you know, this place where it's miserable, right? If you're walking that path, the world can be a miserable place, and you're a human. And most people go, I'm just a person having an experience in this world. Ever since I was younger, whenever I heard something like that, it just never really registered with me, right? Until I was walking it, and I totally forgot that I was a spirit being inside. And so I lived this world having a human experience. And anybody who can grasp that concept, a human experience is hard. It's hard trying to be successful. It's hard trying to figure out your purpose. It's hard trying to figure out a direction and things like that. And it's even harder when you're going through it to be appreciative, to have gratitude. And it takes something of a great magnitude to humble you, to change that perspective. And inside that humbleness is your truth. It's your truth. And a lot of people want to deny that. No, have you ever been humble before to a point and walked out and went right back to doing what you was doing? Right? You know, no, you come when you're humble, you do a few things. First off, you say, okay, I am here. I can appreciate that now. Or you come out and go, I'm here. I have no idea why I went through this. And you talked about it. You could be selfful or selfless. You could be thoughtful or thoughtless, right? And a lot of times when you're having a human experience and you neglect the spirit part of it, it's horrible. Because as human beings, we don't process trauma. We don't process the journey the way they're supposed to. It's when we connect into that spiritual side right there that we appreciate the journey, where we can look back and go, man, if I told somebody, no one would ever believe I walked this path. But then there's a certain sense of strength of I can do this that comes along with that, because once the spirit can look back and the spirit gets warmed up and it's like, you have no idea. I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Let me out. And I went, how do you let your spirit out? How do you do this? Right? And God says, let it out. Okay, that sounds simple enough, but it's so complicated. He goes, well, let me just show you something. And he showed me my gift. And my gift was the gateway of letting my spirit out into the world to manifest itself, right? And God says, now you're going to be a spirit having a human experience. Well,
Amen.
Yeah, and I went, well, that's kind of confusing, God. He goes, no, it's going to make perfect sense. You've already been a human having human experience. Now let your spirit have the experience.
Yes. Have you, maybe your viewers might be able to answer this, and probably you. Have you ever been doing something and you're doing okay, but there was something scratching you at the back of your neck saying, hey, Tony, you can do something bigger. Don't let these four walls keep you in here. And then you're looking, what is that? And then you just take it on faith to step out the four walls that you're locked in and go out into the world and realize, you know what, there's more out here where I can put myself. But to be brave enough to go out there and put yourself out there. Have you ever felt like that?
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, before all of this, before Memories of Us, before I got into doing grief work, yes, mine wasn't four walls. Mine was a well. And I use that analogy, right? Because it was my dark place. That was my dark place. I always tell people the analogy. I was in this dark well. At the top, I could see this little bitty light. You know what I'm saying? Just a pinhole. I didn't know how far it went up. I just knew it was a far way to go. And I remember being in that moment, and I'm waiting. I want someone to come rescue me. Right? I want someone to come rescue me. And never happened. And so here I am. I'm screaming to God saying, hey, if you're up there, I can use a lifeline. And, couple of days go past, and all of a sudden here comes that lifeline. And I'm going, oh, you are listening to me. It just took a while for the voice to get to the top. And so, yes, I've had that moment, because it's like that lifeline is there and I go to reach for it and they pull it up. So now I'm mad. And as I'm pulling it up, they kick dirt on top of me. What I didn't understand, that was the journey, right? It was the realization of what was going on, because it was going, okay, you're going to keep pulling it up and you push dirt on top of me. If you're going to bury me, go, by all means, let's do it. No one will ever know that I'm here. Let's do it. Let's be done with this. And that voice said, no, take the dirt and push it down. Yeah. Realize what I'm giving you. I'm putting the dirt on your head. These are the challenges that you're going to overcome. That's the dirt. The more you overcome those challenges, because just like yourself, I was known for my resilience, right? This life is not going to beat me. Are you crazy? I've come too far. Then it beat me. So now I'm in this place. Now it's realizing I have a whole lot more to learn. And that's that dirt. Every time that lifeline came down, I went, naturally, I'm going to reach for it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe you can help me up the rest of the way. And it was like, no, here's some more lessons that you need to learn. Over a period of time, I got to the top. I was able to cover up that hole and stand up, battered, beaten, bruised, ego just demolished. And I was able to brush myself off and look at it and go, thank you.
Yes.
There was a sense of gratitude, humbleness that came along with that. And that voice inside of my head became louder, right? You know, and I thought I was going crazy. I still do from time to time when I tell people, like, you don't understand. I still argue with God and everything. And you know, even if a person don't believe, you know, it's not my job to tell you to, you know, that's not what I'm called to do. I'm called to be in this space with you. I'm called to take everything that I've learned to give to you, because that's what we're built for. We're built for community. We're built for communication. We're built to support one another, right? You know, but like we joined this community, no one asked to be a part of, but we're here. And then when you look at it in that sense, there's millions of communities across the world that are doing the same exact thing. And no, I never thought I was going to be here. I had no idea. I was thinking small. I was like, I'm going to do this local, because that way, if I fail, no one will ever know. Right? You know, because that's the worst thing that's what we think. If I fail, if I keep it at a very small level, if I fail, no one will ever know. And I can back out of this. And that voice said, you don't get to back out of this. You don't understand. That door is closed, buddy. I'm going, you know, because I tried to backpedal a little bit, like, no, because when it started growing, right? Because when I first started, I was okay with the failing part. I was like, no one will ever know.
Yes.
No one will ever know. Even though I had this idea of where I had this vision, and it says a man without a vision perishes. I didn't realize, you know, that vision was going to be who I was becoming, because I saw myself speaking to thousands of people, traveling the world, you know what I'm saying, talking to millions of men, you know what I'm saying, and connecting with other organizations. I saw myself doing it. Did I think it was possible? Mm-mm. Oh, no, because the introvert in me came out and go, no, we're going to keep it this small. That way, something happens, you can always retreat like the turtle back into your shell.
Yes. Yes.
And when that shell was ripped away, I was exposed to the world. I was exposed. And I went, well, there's no coming back from this. But now there's a small glimmer of hope that I can still retreat if everything don't works out. And no, man, if someone told me that I was going to be sitting here doing what I'm doing, speaking with just such amazing people like yourself, I would have never believed them. But again, I'm not God. He gave me a vision, and he says, I just need you to walk this way. He didn't give me no instructions whatsoever. And I'm like, hey, hold on, don't you have a blueprint or something that I can follow? And I remember the words that he spoke to me. He says, you are the blueprint. You're the blueprint. And I went, no, you don't understand. I'm a work in progress. He goes, no, you're the blueprint. I need you to see the blueprint now. And he laid it out for me. And I just did like this. I go, are you out of your mind? You have to be, this is my blueprint. He goes, yeah. You got the wrong person. You have the wrong person. Let's talk about this for a minute. I said, God, look, this is what happened to me when I was 6. He goes, yeah. No, I didn't like that. He goes, yeah, but look at what you're doing. Well, no. He goes, no, look at what you're doing. Like, had you not gone through this, do you think this individual right here would be able to relate to either? Do you be able to relate to them? I go, no. He goes, okay. That's part of the blueprint. He goes, and I went, well, what about this right here? Well, you made a mistake. He goes, no, I never made a mistake. I go, no, you don't understand, God. I know you made a mistake. What about the abuse? He goes, had you not been abused, would you care? Would you still have the same caring that you do for someone else that does? I go, no. He goes, that's part of the blueprint. I don't think I like that. He goes, you didn't have to. It wasn't about you. I go, well, what about this right here? He goes, yeah, you went through that. Yeah. Well, I'm not okay with this. He goes, no, I know. But had you not gone, I went, you know what? You always got something to say. And but no, to answer your question, I never imagined in a million years that the voice in my head would be my guiding light. Right? It connected me to so many beautiful people. Right? It gave light to a story that I never thought people would believe. And it gave me encouragement in times in my life where I just wanted to die. I wanted to be taken out. That's what I told him. And because before all of this came about, I said, I'm ready to go. And he wouldn't take me. He wouldn't take me. And I'm like, this, God, you tell me I'm supposed to do this, but do you realize what's going on inside of me? I'm broke. He goes, no, you're open. And I'm like, I couldn't even argue that. He says, see, it's like, and I love this analogy. It's like you boiling an egg. Got the hard shell on the outside, but the egg before it's boiled, it's all, it's just a liquid, put it in water. That pressure around it forms, hardens the egg on the inside. So now you got two hard shells, right? You got one on the inside, one on the outside. And he goes, okay, now I'm going to break you open. I'm going to show you what I've done after I put you in this water. And he put me in that water, and I realized that everything that was on the outside was no longer existed. It was the substance of what he created on the inside. So he broke me open in order to break me out. And for that, I'm humble.
Mm-hmm.
It puts me in a constant state of humility because he's constantly teaching me. And he's a practical joker too. I don't know if you know this, but he's a practical joker. I love to hear him laugh. But also love to hear him talk too, right? Because I opened up my mind and opened up the ears and said, I can hear you, but it's very faint. He goes, then get the wax out of your ears. Get the wax out of your ears. But what that meant was, it wasn't the literal meaning of get the wax out of your ears. He was telling me, you need to pay more attention to who's talking to you. And that's when I realized the spiritual battle, right? And I sit back and I look at it and I go, man, I wonder if there's other people out there like me that get this. And to be truthful, yes, there's a lot of us. But to answer that question, yes, I've had that voice in my head telling me one thing, and I've said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And then the voice says, oh, no, you are. And then God goes, I'm going to poke you a little bit. And like you said, like I always often tell people, my life constitutes a helmet, a bus window, and me licking the window. Right?
I get it.
I'm just gonna lick the window, man. But no, I know you've experienced that as well. That moment where you're just like, am I going, this is crazy. I'm going crazy. I might have, like God told you at the beginning, put on this helmet because you're going to need it, right? Yeah. Same thing. He goes, here's the helmet, figure it out. And I went, well, no. See, last time you gave me a helmet, you dropped me off a cliff. I don't like this helmet. He goes, no, it has a little bit more cushion. I put it on. He goes, now I'm going to put you on the bus. Yes. Looked at the bus and I went, well, since I'm already crazy, I'm already going.
No, R for relatable crazy.
Relatable crazy, but the window tasted good. I was like a crazy little kid licking.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, you know the running joke, right? You want to make God laugh? Tell him your plan.
Oh, man. Mm-mm.
Right?
Yeah.
And he'll say, okay, Tony. All right, Tony, I'll give you the first 20 years of your life to go do what you got to do. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to tap you on the shoulder and say, all right, all those skills that I gave you, now I need you to use them for me.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that you said that, because that was going to be my next question. These skills that we develop along the way, what were some of the things that you learned? You know what I'm saying? These skills that you developed along the way of becoming, Nelson, in the positive drip. What were some of the skills that helped contribute to that? Because the story, your story is amazing. And it's the gems that I'm listening to. And I want people to grasp this and everything.
Well, the first thing I have to say is I'm not perfect. The longer you hang out with me, the more time you spend with me, you'll realize there's a lot of things that I suck at. Okay?
Yes.
I have to let you guys know that. But when you come face to face to almost leaving this planet and then getting a second chance to stay, you start to reevaluate yourself and say, okay, what do I stand for? What's important to me? And the first thing that I really took inventory of was I was caught up in the superficial world before I got sick, caught up in the status, caught up in whatever. And then when I got my second chance at life, I realized, oh my gosh, all this stuff on the list that I thought was important is not important.
No.
And you need to get rid of 99% on that list, what you think is important. And so I did. So I trimmed it down to like one of the three few things that are truly, truly important to me. And as long as those are in check, there's nothing that'll make me itchy.
Right.
And nothing can bother me. Now, there are 7 words that I've kind of attached to myself, if I could be summed up in 7 words. The first 3 are faith in God. And the next are integrity, which is doing the right thing, especially when nobody's watching. Empathy, the ability to step into someone else's shoes and see the world from their perspective. It's more important to understand than to constantly speak. 3, the next word is resilience. The ability to fall down 7 times, stand back up 8. But more importantly, resilience, to be able to stretch and bend, but not break.
Right.
And the last word is play. Always have the ability to play, enjoy time, enjoy life with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, with coworkers, even strangers. Be a light in their day. Play. Faith in God, integrity, empathy, resilience, and play. If those 7 words are on my tombstone, I'm okay with it.
Wow. I love that. I definitely love that, because I still haven't figured out what the words that define me yet. Playful, very, very playful, right? Because I now, through reflecting on times when I have with my son, and this has been a real big eye opener for me. It's been a real positive move in the right direction, was going back and remembering my son when we used to climb trees, playful, right? The curiosity, what I'm saying? He always viewed the world as his playground. He always wanted to go climb the trees. And as a man, I think I forgot about that, right? As an adult, I forgot that it was okay to play. I'm still a child in this world. I'm just a grown-up to you, but I'm still a child to my father. So what does that mean? Well, the world is still a playful place. Go play. And that's what he tells us all the time. Let your soul out. Let your soul come out and explore this world. And I went, man, I look back on that and I smiled, because I could hear my son, Daddy, you're getting it now. You're starting to get it. And he goes, look up at the sky. And he always tells me this at the right time. I look up at the sky, and the sky is still, it's pinkish orange and stuff like that. He goes, Daddy, I'm making cupcakes. And I say that because it's something that we said before he passed away, the day before he got sick. He was playing with his friends. He was at a birthday party. He comes out that night and was standing out in the cul-de-sac, and he's on his scooter. He looks up at the sky and he goes, "Daddy, look." And I look at him. I go, "Yeah, I know." And I could see just the look in his eyes. He was smiling, and he was just at awe. And I told him, I said, "Baby, you know what that is?" He goes, "No, Dad." I says, "The angels are up there making cupcakes." His eyes got so big, right? And he goes, "Well, Daddy, I want some cupcakes too."
Oh,
So, the playfulness and things like that, it reminds me, right?
yes.
It reminds me to take time, to have whole space for myself, to have grace for myself, to love myself, and to forgive myself for the things that I didn't know and honor the things that I know now and stay committed to the process, right? Like I said, it's stretching me.
Yes.
But in the midst of it stretching me, it's filling in so many different things that I never thought, the knowledge that I've gained to be able to give to someone else. Because I thought the knowledge was just mine, right? Selfish or selfish, right? I try not to look at myself in that way anymore. That's why that word is kind of foreign to me. So when I speak it, it's like, I hesitated a little bit. But it was a selfish way of looking at life. I was going, I've made it through this part. I'm going to take this and I'm going to keep it because it's mine to keep. And again, popped upside the head, go,
Yep. Yep.
No, that doesn't work that way. I was like, no, you don't understand. I don't even know how to articulate this to people. He goes, okay, since you don't know how to articulate it to someone, I'm going to bring someone else into your life. I'm going to show you. I'm going to teach you. And you're going to walk through it. And I did.
Yes.
And the blessing is, even in those darkest moments, you have to understand that it has nothing to do with you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Are you living in my head right now?
I feel like, but we're all the same. Like, it has nothing to do with you. Your darkest moments, everything that you've ever gone through in your life, believe it or not, has nothing to do with you. And most people would look at that and go, well, I'm the one who's having to go through it. Go, I know. But it has nothing to do with you. It's setting you up for what you're called to do. And if you want it, it's there. And if you have faith, it would be revealed to you. And I found that most people get stuck. We've both been there, stuck in that little rut and everything. This is all about me. It's all about me. No, it has nothing at all to do with you.
Yes.
It's giving you a story to help someone else get out of their dark place, to show that you are human, to show that, because we all ended up in the same place, right? But we didn't get here by ourselves. So it shows that connectedness, that community, and it gives hope.
Yes.
So
Yes.
It was so much bigger than me, right? And here I am. I'm a spirit having a spiritual experience now in this world.
Yes. Yes.
And I can say I've been truly blessed along this road. As bad as it may seem, as bad as it may sound, and things like that. What I want people to understand, that we share these stories with you because we get it. It sounds bad, but it's what we're giving back to people. It's what drives us, right? You know what I'm saying? And I've gotten to a point now, I walk into a place and, you know what I'm saying, I have all this knowledge about grief and being mindful and trauma and just from lived experience. So now when I walk into a place, I will go, how can I share this knowledge with the next person? Right? You know what I'm saying? Because I can't hold it. I'm working on the dash in between the numbers.
Yes.
You know, I got my birth date. I don't know my death date. I know what the dash, I know what that looks like. Right. And I wanted to tell a story of courage. I wanted to give hope to other people. Right. And I want to express to people how good God really is. And that even in your darkest moments, he's not leaving you. He don't leave you. It may seem like it. And we talked about this, the footsteps poem, and having to be humbled and look back and go, well, back there, God, I only see one set of footprints. Even when I was down on my hands and knees, he goes, yeah. He goes, but what you don't understand, when you was resting, I was carrying you.
Yes.
I went, I'm 285 pounds. You're not carrying me, God. He goes, no, I'm carrying you. You don't understand. I'm carrying you. He goes, because for one, you're my child. And I want you to know that I never leave you. It may seem like that in time, but I never left you.
Yes. Yes.
And when you got strong enough, I let you walk here, but I watched you. I watched you and I loved on you. And that's what I want to give to other people. I want to love on them. I want to let them know that they're not by themselves, right, in this journey.
Yes.
And it's such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful thing. I wake up every day now and I just go, who can I give this to?
Yes. Yes.
Who can I share this beautiful journey with? And people look and go, dude, you do realize that you just said that you was molested when you were 6 years old? I go, I know. It sucked. But look at how many other men out there I've been able to connect with that have gone through the same thing. But Tony, you lost your son. I know. But I had 8 years. I was blessed.
Amazing.
He said, you don't have any parents. You're an orphan. I said, yeah, but I still got my father.
Amazing.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It goes,
yes.
Taking your son away, taking your brother away from you. Yeah, I know. But I know he's up there watching over me. Right? You know, you lost your grandpa. Yeah, I know. But they're making a place for me. You don't understand. I see this now. And they still tell me when I'm wrong because, I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. And I still hear my grandmother, boy, if you don't stop, grandma, right? And so, I take all of that and I put it out on the forefront. I have nothing to hide.
Yes.
I have nothing to hide because if my story can change someone else's life, I'm good with that. I'm blessed, right? Even if it's only one person, that's all I need.
Yes.
That's all. That's enough for me. And then understand that this one big thing that I've had to understand, and I'm pretty sure you have too, the realization that God was enough for me, that I didn't need nothing else, that I was never alone. He's enough. And that's what he says. I am enough for you. I am sufficient for you. And I'm going, if you're sufficient for me, then why don't everyone else get this? How come you can't be sufficient enough for them? He goes, I am. They just haven't realized it yet, but they will. But don't worry about it, And I, like you said, told God my plans, and he laughed at me. And here I am now going, you know what? I didn't find any humor in that, but I can snicker a little bit.
Yeah, I know. He laughed at, I know. He laughed at me and said, here, put this helmet on. I'll see you in a few minutes.
We can relate, brother. We can definitely relate. So, with that being said, how can people get a hold of you, brother?
Well, people, if there's, but before I exit your stage, I have to let you know that I applaud you for what you are doing with your precious minutes on the planet, because you truly are making a difference in the world, as introverted as you say you are. And I want to thank you for letting me be a part of your mission.
Yes, man, of course.
And if people want to get a hold of me, if there are people that are currently looking to get to that next level of achievement but don't know how to get there, or are buried between their perceived can'ts and paralyzing impossibilities, they can always find me at www.thepositivedrip@hotmail.com, or they can visit the blog at www.thepositivedrip. And if they don't like to read, you can come check me out on YouTube and watch the information at The Positive Drip YouTube channel.
I'm definitely going to be checking that out. Now, if you had any words of encouragement for anybody out there, what would you tell them? Because we've been putting things out there, but what would you tell them right now?
I know exactly what to say to you. Remember, I told you I was living in 5 different hospitals. And I'll never forget this. In one hospital, I was surrounded by sickness and death 24/7. And then one day, the sky opened up for me as I was lying in my bed. And I had realized that the biggest lie that we've all been led to believe, including me, is that we all have time and an unlimited amount of some days and a long list of I'll do it later opportunities. Mm-hmm. But that's wrong, because no man or woman knows their last breath or the last second of their time on this planet. And if people can embrace this idea, I urge you to take and pull yourself away from the distractions of life, the negativity of life, and try and focus on your personal check marks of what you want out of this life, who you want to serve, who you want to love, how you want to make your life as most productive as possible with this experience. So that way, when you do die, which we all will, you can die empty. That way, bringing no unfinished earthly business with you to the grave. And if you can do that, you win. And when you see our Maker, hopefully when he says, I am proud of you and the way you lived your life. And if you do that, everybody wins. Not just you, but the people that were around to witness you and able to feel the love that you emitted and the help that you offered, because you chose to be selfless, thoughtful, caring, and loving.
I love that. That sent goosebumps up and down my spine. You have no idea. I was, whew, man, as they say, preacher, teacher, pastor, right? You know, it's just my way of saying, man, like that was beautiful. That was definitely beautiful. I'm just sitting back looking at it, and all of these things just lit up in my brain. And, you know, I got this sense of warmness right now, and I just want to smile because I'm like, man, who would have ever thought, right? Who would have ever thought? And now with that being said, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being on, sharing your story. And I definitely want to connect with you more outside of here and seeing what more can we offer to this world, right? What more can we offer? And to those who are listening, please, please, please reach out to Nelson. Go check out his blog, go check out his YouTube, because I know I am, you know, and if you've been inspired by this and you found some hope, or even maybe looking for someone to walk with you during these things, reach out to them, man. Because I'm telling you, I've been truly blessed to have met people and individuals like Nelson and Andre, as we talked about before, and you guys will see her links in hers. Reach out to them, because I'm telling you, the knowledge that they have is uncanny. You know, there's no amount of, you know, words that I can say to put to that. Nothing, you know what I'm saying, except for you just have to experience it for yourself. Like you said, the positive drip, man. And I love that, because it resonates now. I'm like, that's the positive drip right there. There it is. And you know, and so Nelson, thank you again, man. And I would love to do this again, and connect outside of here, see what we can do, and then, you know what I'm saying, see what else, however else that we can impact this world together and everything.
Tony, it's not goodbye, it's just see you later.
There you go. And with that being said, I want to wish everybody a happy late Thanksgiving, because this is the day after Thanksgiving. Hope you had a blessed one. Hope you take something out of this interview and find the courage to keep pushing forward. Find your faith. You know, if you're someone who don't believe, that's fine too. Find the courage. Find who you are in this world, and follow that. Follow your heart, because it's going to take you places that you never thought. And always go in with an empty mind, because tell you right now, if you go in with a full mind, you're going to miss all that beautiful glory that is bestowed upon you. So be brave enough to say, I'm possible. Because if you haven't realized yet, you have a person, Nelson, sitting right here, who's a cancer survivor. And I don't know about you, but to me, that is a true blessing. That's a true blessing. And till next time, you guys keep your head up. Remember, you can't be fixed. Faith is something that is developed over time. Embrace it, walk it, speak it, and let it guide you where you need to go. Until next time, thank you for enjoying another episode of Memories of Us.